Hey, it's Tracy with Booktalk with Tracy. I am talking about my book, Wind Over Marshdale, and this is the third segment. I'm trying to keep them short, so I'm dividing them up. But the last time we talked about the three kind of main characters, Rachel Bosworth, a teacher from Toronto who's moved to the prairies to work in the small town of Marshdale. Thomas Lone Wolf, a Cree man who's there setting up an interpretive center because the area is an important place for Indigenous artifacts. And then a farmer named Con who is from there, who also has some interesting past skeletons in his closet, if you will. And so those three, there's a little bit of a love triangle going on in the book, which I talked about last time. I also mentioned the fact that the book is set in my actual hometown, not Marshdale, but Mossbank in Saskatchewan. So the setting itself is quite authentic, although the characters are not. But today I wanted to talk about a supernatural / spiritual thread that runs through the book. And I think it's one of its strong themes. It's thematically very strong. Thomas is a Christian, as I mentioned, but he also has, understandably, strong ties to his ancestry, and it has become known to him that, in fact, he comes from a long line of medicine men. And so he often feels that pull, and it is a bit of a dichotomy for him in terms of wanting to honor his ancestral background, but also live for Christ as a Christian. And how he's walking this tightrope at times of how the two mesh together. Then there is another character. I don't want to say too much because I don't want it to be a spoiler, but there is another character who is in the book. She's not the main character, but her thread runs through it, where she is involved in the occult. And so she has a lot of influence in the town, and some of the things that she's doing, some of her pagan practices and the way that she's having ceremonies at her home and things like that. It kind of reinforces that idea about a spiritual realm, and that we have to be aware, I guess, not afraid for sure, but aware of the fact that, there are forces of evil out there and that they can have an impact on our lives. And then we also have the pastor of the church, who on the outside is a lovely man, and yet we find out that he also has some deep, dark secrets. So there's a lot going on in this book in terms of various storylines that are woven together, the romance part, but also the spiritual part, also the sort of the struggle between good and evil, and it all comes to a head, of course, at the end. And I don't know, I just love this book. I believe that it's got some important spiritual truth to it, but it is fiction, right? So I wouldn't want anybody to base any kind of doctrines on it or anything like that. But it's a great book, and I do really still love it. So I encourage you to pick up a copy, Wind Over Marshdale. It is still currently my best-selling novel to date. Thank you to Estrella Press for publishing it. They are now clean reads, but you can get this anywhere, Amazon, anywhere else online. You can visit my website, tracykrause.com, to find out about all of my books. And please, if you enjoy any of my books, leaving a review is really, really important for authors, and I really appreciate that. So I'm going to end by giving a little teaser. We're not quite done with Thomas, because I decided to write a short sequel to this book. It's called Lone Wolf. I'm going to talk a little bit about that next time. Until then, we'll see you.